Welcome back to Acts of Kindness, the channel where real human moments remind us that compassion can arrive from the most unexpected places. If you believe one small act can change an entire life, stay with us until the end, because today's story proves exactly that. The late afternoon sun leaned against the windows of Rosie's diner, painting the checkered floor with tired golden light. The bell above the door had stopped ringing as often as it did during lunch, leaving behind the quiet hum of an old refrigerator and the smell of coffee that had been reheated too many times. For most people, this hour meant heading home. For Lily Carter, it meant the hardest part of the day was just beginning. Lily wiped her hands on her apron and glanced at the clock behind the counter. 4:30. In an hour, she would need to pick up her 6-year-old son, Noah, from the neighbor who watched him after school. Her feet ached, her back felt tight, and her smile had grown heavy. Being a single mom and a waitress meant learning how to carry exhaustion like it was invisible. The doorbell rang once, sharp and sudden. Lily looked up and felt her stomach tense. The man who stepped inside didn't belong to the soft, familiar world of Rosie's diner. He was tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in black leather that creaked slightly as he moved. Tattoos climbed up his arms like stories written in ink. A silver chain hung at his waist, and a skull ring caught the light as he pushed the door closed behind him. Hell Angel, Lily thought, the name flashing in her mind from every headline and warning she had ever heard. The diner went still. A couple in the corner lowered their voices. An older man at the counter paused mid-sip. Lily felt her heartbeat thud against her ribs, but she straightened her shoulders and did what she always did. She smiled. "Welcome," she said, her voice steady. "Sit anywhere you like." The biker gave a short nod and chose the booth near the window, the one Lily usually avoided because it caught too much glare. He sat with his back to the wall, eyes scanning the room out of habit more than threat. Lily approached with menus and water. Up close, she noticed the lines around his eyes, the kind that came from years of sun and wind, not cruelty. Still, she kept her tone professional. "Coffee?" she asked. "Black," he said. His voice was rough but not unkind. She poured the coffee, set the mug down, and placed the menu in front of him. "I'll be right back." As she turned away, she heard him speak again. "No rush." Those two words followed her all the way back to the counter. No rush. When had anyone last said that to her? She took orders from another table, refilled ketchup bottles, and tried to ignore the way her thoughts kept drifting back to the man in leather. After a few minutes, she returned. "Ready to order." "Meatloaf," he said, "and fries." "Coming right up." In the kitchen, Lily leaned against the counter for a moment. Meatloaf meant 15 minutes. 15 minutes of peace, maybe. While the food cooked, she found herself watching him through the service window. He sat quietly, hands wrapped around his mug, staring out at the street like he was waiting for something that never came. When Lily brought the plate, he looked up and gave a small nod of thanks. "Smells good," he said. She smiled again. "It's our most popular dish." He ate slowly, deliberately. Not like someone in a hurry, not like someone trying to disappear, just a man enjoying a meal. As he ate, Lily's mind wandered to the envelope waiting at home on the kitchen table. The electric bill, red letters screaming overdue. Her paycheck this week wouldn't be enough. It never was. She had already skipped dinner twice so Noah could eat properly. She shook the thought away. Customers didn't need her problems. The biker finished his meal, wiped his mouth with a napkin, and set it neatly on the plate. He reached into his jacket, pulled out a wallet, and slid a bill under the plate. "Whenever you're ready," he said. Lily picked up the plate, careful not to look at the money yet. Years of waiting tables had taught her not to hope too soon. At the counter, she lifted the plate. Her breath caught. There was no tip. Just a folded napkin, thick and deliberate, tucked beneath the plate. Her heart sank, sharp and familiar. Of course, What had she expected? She unfolded the napkin to throw it away. And froze. Inside was a handwritten note, the ink dark and steady. For the boy who needs you. For the mom who never quits. Beneath the note was a stack of bills. Not a few dollars. Not 20. $500. Lily's hands began to shake. She counted once then again, just to be sure. 5 crisp $100 bills pressed flat beneath the plate. She looked up, panic and disbelief twisting together. The booth by the window was empty. The doorbell rang as the biker stepped out into the fading sunlight, leather jacket catching the glow, disappearing into the street as if he had never been there at all. "Wait," Lily whispered, already moving. She pushed through the door, the bell clanging wildly behind her. "Sir," she called. He had mounted his motorcycle, engine rumbling low. He looked back at her, helmet under his arm. "You forgot your tip," she said, holding the napkin and money out with both hands, tears blurring her vision. "I can't accept this, it's too much." He studied her for a long moment. Not her uniform, not the money, her face. "You already did," he said quietly. "I don't understand," Lily said, her voice breaking. He glanced back toward the diner, then at her again. "I had a mom like you once, worked nights, smiled through hell, thought no one noticed." Lily swallowed hard. "She didn't make it," he continued, "but you will, and your kid will remember." Tears spilled down Lily's cheeks. "Thank you," she whispered. He nodded once, pulled on his helmet, and the engine roared to life. In seconds he was gone. Lily stood there long after the sound faded, the napkin clenched to her chest. That night, Lily paid the electric bill. She bought groceries without counting every dollar. She filled Noah's backpack with snacks and slipped $20 into his jacket pocket, just in case. When Noah asked why she was smiling so much, she hugged him tight and said, "Because angels come in all kinds of outfits." Weeks passed, then months. Life didn't magically become easy, but it became manageable. Lily saved what she could. She applied for a community college course she had always dreamed about, studying early childhood education during late nights after Noah slept. One afternoon, a letter arrived, scholarship approved. Lily sat at the kitchen table, the same place the overdue bill once waited, and cried again. Not from fear this time, but from hope. Years later, Lily stood in front of her own classroom, colorful posters lining the walls, children laughing at her feet. Noah sat in the front row, proud eyes shining. Sometimes, when life felt heavy, Lily would pull out the napkin she kept folded in a small box. The ink had faded slightly, but the words remained. For the mom who never quits. She never learned his name, never saw him again. But she told his story. To her students, to her son, to anyone who believed kindness had a face. Because that day, in a quiet diner, a man the world feared proved that angels don't always have wings. Sometimes, they ride in on roaring engines, leave a $0 tip on the table, and change everything without ever asking for thanks. If this story touched your heart, remember to like, share, and subscribe to Acts of Kindness. You never know whose life you might change by passing a little light forward.